Hey, Chef Ro here. Today we're going to talk about dough. Very specifically yeasted dough, so bread doughs or pizza doughs or things like that, and how to know when it is done being kneaded. Now, I use a mixer most of the time, mainly because I'm lazy, but also because I have it. For very small or very large things, I do sometimes knead it by hand. And the method for determining whether your dough is ready to be proofed or not, or the first fermentation, it's the same. Whether you knead it by hand, whether you knead it in a mixer, you need to be able to pull a window. And I know you're sitting there going, what the heck is this person talking about? Yes, so I'm going to show you. Everybody's really big into bread making right now because, lockdown. And a lot of people don't know how to tell when dough has been kneaded enough. So what you need to do is, once you think your dough is ready, and you can usually tell when it starts to get ready because it's become a smooth ball. So you can see this is pretty smooth here in the mixer, okay? You can see how smooth that is. And what you are going to do is you're going to just pinch off this tiny little piece here, okay? And you're going to pull it very gently. And you're going to see if it holds together like this and gets to the point where it is see-through. Okay, see how I can see through that? See how thin I'm able to get that in the center? That means that the gluten development has worked and your dough is ready to be fermented. Now, if, for example, you were pulling gently and it were to do this, it generally means either it's over kneaded or under kneaded. So in general, you want to start with about 5 minutes on a slow speed in your mixer. But see how when I pull gently, this is actually what this same piece of dough did. Okay, if I pull it too far, it's getting too thin and breaking, but you can see how thin it can get right here before it breaks, and that means the dough is done. One thing that a lot of people won't tell you is that KitchenAids, very specifically, or really any stand mixer, when the dough hook is on it, it's really not meant to go above a medium speed. I usually keep mine on a low speed. Maybe if I'm in a hurry, put it up to medium. The friction is just too much drag on the motor and you're going to burn out your machine. So you want to do no higher than a medium. It also happens to void the warranty. So you want to do no higher than a medium on this for dough. Not all yeasted doughs are going to come completely off the bowl. Some like to stick just a little bit, and that doesn't mean that you need more flour. Some doughs, especially higher fat doughs, just do stick, especially just to the bottom. There's like a little patch of them that likes to stick, and that's okay. The higher the fat, the stickier it gets. Brioche dough is a really good example of that. In those instances where it's so sticky that you can't put your hand anywhere near it without coming out with like Swamp Thing hand, this guy is going to be your best bet. It's an inexpensive bunch scraper. It's about $2. The white plastic flimsy ones are actually the best for this. The metal ones are great for other things, but not for this. And this is great for this and not a ton of other things. But I digress. This is that guy. If it's something like pizza dough where it just likes to stick to the bottom a little bit, I'm going to show you another trick for getting that dough out. Now, pizza dough, you usually have to oil the bowl. That's more than anything so that the crust is oiled so it doesn't form a crust on the dough. If a crust forms on the dough, it's never going to rise. So I put just a little bit of whatever oil that dough is calling for. So if butter is in the dough, use butter. If olive oil is in the dough, like pizza dough, use olive oil. You get the idea. But now I have an oiled hand because I used my hand to spread that around. So now you can see I can pick that dough right up out of the bowl. No problem. Didn't stick to my hands. Give it a little turn. Smoosh it around. Make sure it's fully covered in oil. Put some plastic wrap over this warm spot. Let it rise. Now you know the trick to knowing when your dough is done. So hopefully you guys go out and make all kinds of bread dough and send me pictures.